It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. And the beginning of the show interrupted our pre-show meeting.
Yes. Right.
Hey, before we get to the shutdown and whether what Trump has put out there will change everything here in the last couple of hours.
Yeah.
I just an umbrella generality of where we are today.
All right.
As a society, the political narratives out there, and this all has to do. I have the headline here: J.K. Rowling sides with Riley Gaines after AOC's attack over the trans athletes issue. Mm-hmm. And what Riley Gaines did is she put some, a X post out earlier this week where it was, Crockett and Sanders and whoever, and she's just like, these are the Democrat leaders.
Yeah.
And then AOC just went nuts on her and everything else. And then you had some podcaster out of some leftist podcaster who had a Bravo series, and all of a sudden she starts appearing and going viral, just cursing left and right. Mm-hmm. And then the narrative becomes from the Democrats, nobody would have ever heard of Riley Gaines. Nobody would have ever heard of her because she was only fifth. And this is just to get attention and everything else. And Riley Gaines posted yesterday, she said, "Can you believe it? All this because I said a man isn't a woman." Yeah. And it put everything into perspective. You're like, okay, right. What's the actual argument? What has she done that's so incredibly outrageous? She said, a man isn't a woman.
Yeah. It reminds me of, and somebody showed this in a YouTube clip the other day. They only showed a couple of seconds of it. But it reminds me of when Dr. Drew had his TV show on CNN, and our friend Ben Shapiro was on there, and the transgender threatened to beat him up because Ben brought up biology.
Yes. And then remember the other panelist?
Yeah.
Said,
you should have known.
You should have known that would trigger him.
Right.
And you triggering him was wrong. It doesn't matter whether you bring up biological fact, the fact that you upset him. And I will tell you, at that time, I think Dr. Drew has become more blunt in his assessments, but he completely wimped out on that day.
Yeah.
We just like, we need to shut up.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. And by the way, another demonstration that the violent left has been around for a long time. Mm-hmm. Because that goes back to when CNN Headline News was still around. That show was on CNN Headline
So
News.
it was like 8 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
7, 8 years?
Maybe even longer, I think. Yeah, but it's been several years. And I think to myself, that's where we are. The party of science will not let you tell the truth about science. They just won't. It's again, it's going to, and the mob thinks they still have that intimidating rule over everybody. They may still have a few under their belts, but I think they're losing that kind of rule day by day. I think more and more people feel like, oh, wait a minute. I don't need to appease, and I don't need to feel intimidated by the mob. And we've got recent examples of that. But, yeah, Riley Gaines, man can't be a woman. Right. All of a sudden, it's the end of the world.
Well, if you're not paying attention, it's like, well, that Riley Gaines, what did she actually say?
Right.
Why are these people so angry? And the one woman podcaster out of Oklahoma, it's like I think part of what it is I'd play some of it, but I can't because there's cursing all over the place.
Yeah.
It's blankety this and I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay. The angry left is saying right now, we were cursing left and right and we sounded angry. We need to get back to the cursing. Mm-hmm. We need to use the MF word. We just can't use words about your butt or
yeah.
or telling you you're going to go to hell. We need to get really, what were George Carlin's 7 words or 9 words, whatever you can, 7 words you can't say on television? Make sure we have them in every single podcast, because that will show that we're angry.
I think the left has made up some new words that would embarrass George Carlin.
And so you see it, and you're like, what's his fury about? And that was great when Riley Gaines just put out, she said, all this week because I said a man isn't a woman.
Yep.
I'm paraphrasing her, but she might have said
right.
a man, isn't a woman, a man can't be a woman, whatever. But
right.
It was simply, that a man is a man, a woman is a woman. She goes, that's what the fury, that's everything that's being thrown at me is based on that.
Right.
And when you put it into that, into perspective, that's where you look at it, and that's where you can justifiably say the left is insane.
Mm-hmm. No, I think good for Riley Gaines for putting that out there, because that puts everything in perspective.
Yeah.
It shows how angry they are. Again, the party of science is angry that you're bringing up science.
Yes. Oh, and that was the funniest thing, but a very close second. What's the whole thing of, quote, conservative?
Oh, yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Oh, my gosh.
Billy Crystal is more of a conservative than Bill Crystal.
Conservative Bill Crystal. Well, yes, I would vote for Mamdani. And it was brought up.
Yeah.
And I think it was like some of the Never Trumpers out there that were like, okay, well, we don't like Trump, but where's this coming from? What the hell is wrong? What the hell is wrong with you? Well, as you said, he was never a conservative.
Yeah, Bill Crystal's never been a conservative.
Yeah.
He may have played one on TV or in writing, but he was not a conservative.
2 things. He's not a conservative, and what Eric said a few years back, that he believes.
I do.
Now again, we don't have the empirical science to back this up.
I'm not a neurologist, to be clear.
Right, or a virologist.
Yeah,
and
either one.
But we do believe that there was a parallel COVID-19 virus that affected the brains.
Yeah, which is why I bring up neurology. I believe it was a brain virus.
Yes.
That was it was a parallel brain virus at the time of COVID. Because everything at that point was going, pun intended, bat soup crazy.
Yes, it's a leftist contagion.
It is. I really do believe it, because now think about pre-COVID left and post-COVID left. Holy cow. My gosh. It makes you hope for a zombie apocalypse. That would be simpler. Because this is just out of control. How stupid things have gotten.
We could all unite fighting for Twinkies.
Right, exactly. Right.
You have to have watched Zombieland in order to understand that.
Yeah, we'll get Daryl Dixon. I just saw the other day where there's like a spinoff of The Walking Dead. I'm like, that thing's still going on? Wow.
But yeah, the whole Bill Crystal thing, and I think it was Jonah Goldberg who was, it's like, he doesn't even, I think it was him who said, he doesn't even live there. He didn't have to give an opinion on this.
I know, right?
I mean, he could have just said, well, I wouldn't vote because I don't like anyone.
Right, yeah.
Or, as much as, I don't like Cuomo or Sliwa or whatever, they'd still get my vote because you can't have a communist.
Right. Well, I mean,
it's to the point where the points that we're making, and we've just given you a couple of examples, are just so not normal that you're looking for explanations saying, how did we get roughly half of the country that has on science, whatever, have completely lost their minds?
Yeah. No, I mean, seriously, if someone came out tomorrow, Fauci himself could come out and say tomorrow, I believe there was another virus. I would go, okay.
Well,
On that, Fauci has credibility. On just that one thing. Oh, my gosh. It's just so insane. It is. It also is proof that, because what's more likely is way too many people stayed cooped up at home for way too long. Because this insanity is just over the top. Actually, what I think it is what, in a serious tone, exactly what you and I have laid out. And that was the left believed they had control. COVID was that one opportunity where they could get control of everything. They could control your movement. They could control your job. They could control industry. They could control your all your medical files and behavior, and even down to the point of wearing a mask or not wearing a mask or whatever. And the fact that they didn't win that has just made them outright furious. I think that's a huge part of it, because they, for the longest time, they thought they were winning, and maybe they were on their way to winning the indoctrination game. And thanks to people like Charlie Kirk, they didn't. And I think so many things have happened over the last really 24 months, if you think about it. So many things have happened that have turned that around. Not that they're not, because they're more radical than they've ever been. But they don't have the grasp on people that they once had.
Causation is not correlation.
Right.
But sometimes there's exception to the rule.
It can be. There can be correlation along with causation.
Yes.
Yes. Sometimes they're separate, but sometimes, yeah.
And again, what we're asking is maybe there should be. We're not saying there absolutely is. We're saying you seem to have, in this case, causation. We should investigate whether causation and correlation are the same here.
Exactly, yes.
When it comes to a second virus.
Right.
Because of just there's no logic. There's no connecting the dots. There's no critical thinking. This virus took all critical thinking and just threw it out the window.
Even in making up political lies.
Yes.
I mean, they have just not, because we're thinking, wait a minute. No. You need someone to help you lie better. Governor Hochul the other day, this is one great example. I thought they were chanting, "Let's go Bills." That's a stupid lie. Because number one, we know it's a lie. We know she knows what they were chanting.
For those people that don't know, when she was with Mamdani, and the Mamdani people were screaming at her, tax the rich, because she has said, no, we're not going to tax New York State to pay for what New York City wants. And Mamdani has said, that's what I want. Mm-hmm. That's what has to be done. And that has been a great discussion that we've had this week about liberalism today, that you can have liberalism in California. You can have it in Illinois. You can have it in New York. You can have these liberal nirvanas, these socialist nirvanas, but in a state, you actually have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And when that happens, nobody wants to pay for it. That's why they don't have government-sponsored health care across the board,
right,
because they refuse to pay for it. Mamdani, and I'm so glad that he actually said that, because it's the wider argument that we see right now when it comes to government being closed. It's all about the fact that liberals do not want to pay. They want to put what they want now on future generations.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they wish to do.
Well, and Hochul just,
Oh, right, and so what? So they were yelling, "Tax the rich, tax the rich," and she was asked about it later on, and she said, "Oh, I thought they were saying, 'Let's go Bills,' for the Buffalo Bills." By the way, people don't know she is from the Buffalo area,
Right? Yes, and it's and and as governor of New York, I guess she just picks the Bills. I don't. The thing is.
Well, no, because
stupid.
she's involved in the she's out there for I know because I pay attention to what happens in Western New York. Every single thing for the new stadium, she's out there for every single press conference.
Yeah, okay.
And she's always out there. When the Bills play, she's out there, and the Bills fans go nuts. Go, shut up! She'll be out there saying, "Here we are, we're all cheering."
Yeah.
And on X, she gets destroyed. Constantly.
Well,
So
how do you not know a good political lie? Because a political lie would be, no, I do believe the rich need to pay. Look, whether you believe it or not, just toe the company line.
Well,
I believe the rich need to pay their fair share, and just leave it at that.
Especially when you're the second one to do that lie, and the first person to try to do that lie was so well known because that's where Let's Go Brandon came from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I said that night coming in. She's doing the Let's Go Brandon thing.
Yeah.
And that came from a news reporter.
Right.
I thought they were chanting Let's Go. No, they weren't. It was something very different. But at least with a news reporter, well, you're scrambling. With a sitting governor, high-profile Democrat who's endorsing Mamdani, you got to come up with and very simple. No, I believe the rich need to pay their fair share. And leave it at that, because that's the blah, blah, blah answer, right? It doesn't go anywhere because you're a Democrat. Oh, okay, she believes that. Whether she acts on it or not, nobody cares.
866-90 Red Eye.
Hi, I'm Jen Loomis, a transport safety expert at J.J. Keller. In order to manage speed, you need to understand the 4 factors involved in stopping a vehicle. Perception distance is the distance a vehicle travels from the time you see a hazard until your brain recognizes it. The perception time for an alert driver is approximately 3/4 of a second. Reaction distance is the distance a vehicle travels from the time your brain tells your foot to move from the accelerator until your foot hits the brake pedal. The average driver has a reaction time of 3/4 of a second. Brake lag distance also needs to be taken into account. When operating a vehicle with air brakes, it takes about half a second for the mechanical operation to take place. Finally, braking distance is the distance it takes a vehicle to stop once the brakes are applied. Braking distance is affected by the weight, length, and speed of the vehicle, as well as road condition. This tip was brought to you by J.J. Keller and Associates. Visit us at jjkeller.com.
Lines open for your calls. 866-90 Red Eye on Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Well, it seems that with the shutdown, you had now a ton of the different airline groups come out yesterday, and we'll have some of that audio coming up far in the bottom of the hour, and saying we need to get a CR done, clean CR right now. And you've got now you've got these unions that normally are pro-Democrat that are saying clean CR, clean CR. But I think the thing that might change everything is Trump coming out last night on an X post and saying, end the shutdown, nuclear option, get rid of the Senate filibuster, get this thing done.
Yep. Well, and that's it. Sean O'Brien, standing there with the vice president, and talking about the Teamsters and everything else. We've heard this. We've heard from other unions, government unions. The shutdown, again, the more pain it causes, the more you're going to hear from it. And the left isn't winning this. The question will be, will the GOP pull the trigger on the nuclear option? That's an interesting discussion.
Which we'll have.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Download our Red Eye Radio app today, and you can listen when and where you choose. I'm sorry, you heard me during the break. You heard me. I was playing the audio cut. I was, pre-editing it for any profanity, and there is some in it, and so I've got to work around it here. But it was Fetterman talking to CNN, and he's just so disappointed in the Democrats. But he's sitting, he's got his legs crossed, he's in shorts. I mean, his legs are pretty white. I mean, they're blinding. Yeah. Got this white hoodie on and shorts. Yeah. And I just go back to yesterday where you and I said he's the voice of reason for the Democrats.
Right.
And it's just the imagery of him. It's humorous. It really, really is. But when you think of where he was when he first got in and what he has done now, he probably, you could look at it and say, is the only moderate Democrat?
Yeah.
Because we've often said there is no moderate Democrat. You might be able to say he is one.
At least on a few handful of issues.
Yes, on a few, yes. Not all issues, but
right.
But I just sit here just dying laughing there. But and so we'll get to that a little bit later on. Yesterday, as we saw, you had a number of unions and organizations come out. This was a ad actually put out because you can hear music behind it. It's the presidents of the Airlines for America, Southwest Airlines Pilots Association, Allied Pilots Association, Air Traffic Controllers Association, U.S. Travel Association. Here it is.
The biggest way to ensure the safety, security, and reliability of our national air traffic control system is to pass a clean, continuing resolution.
We are concerned that when our brothers and sisters in TSA and air traffic control are not receiving paychecks, that they're distracted and that they erode on the margin of safety that we rely on to go out and operate our aircraft and do our job safely as well.
Every day that they go to work, they have not only the weight of one of the most high consequence jobs in the entire world, now they're feeling, how do I pay for my gas? How do I put food on the table?
No one should have to work without being paid. Congress owes it to the American people to get this thing done, get a clean CR done, and get the government back open.
Everyone knows, the Vice President, Congress, is that this shutdown needs to end now. It has to happen now. These guys need to convene, say yes to that clean CR, get this thing back on track, and again, restore that confidence in the American public as we go into these very busy holiday seasons.
All right, that actually came from the White House. They took clips of all of that. All right. That was a clip actually came from the White, but it is what they all had to say. They all were standing. In fact, I have part of the conversation when they were standing with J.D. Vance yesterday at the White House. Hear this.
I'll start by really thanking the professionals, the air traffic controllers, the folks at the TSA, also the FAA, the people in management. They're working hard. They are keeping the skies safe. They've minimized delays. Fewer than 2% of flights have been delayed so far because of air traffic control shortages. So they've done a great job. But it's putting stress on people. It's not fair to those people. It's also putting stress on the economy. You know, the first couple of weeks this had no impact on the economy. But as every day goes by, the impacts start to grow. And airlines are a pretty good real-time indicator of the economy. And we start to see, still minor, but steep booking impact. And you see that happening in the economy. We put the whole economy at risk. And so it's been 30 days. And while I don't have a position on which part is inside and how things should be settled with healthcare, it has been 30 days. I also think it is time to pass a clean CR. Use that as the opportunity to get into a room behind closed doors and negotiate hard on the real and substantive issues that the American people want our politicians on both sides of the aisle to solve. But let's get a clean CR and get that negotiation done behind closed doors.
That's Scott Kirby, United Airlines CEO, and everyone behind him. Now the White House took clips of it, but that was an accurate representation of what they said. Right. They all said, we need a clean CR. We need to get this over. So you've got now all the airline people. You've got The head of the biggest government union the other day, the head of the TSA, came out. All the unions are saying clean CR.
Mm-hmm.
This is putting the pressure on Democrats. But if nothing changes by Monday, you had Trump come out, this story. President Donald Trump on Thursday urged Republicans to end the filibuster in order to end the month-long government shutdown. In a late-night Truth Social post, Trump noted that Democrats had tried to eliminate the Senate procedure when they had control of both chambers of Congress and the White House during the Biden administration, but then Senators Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, both of whom have since left the Democratic Party to become independents, helped block that effort. Trump revived the talk of the nuclear option after returning from Asia this week. The one question that kept coming up, however, was how did the Democrats shut down the United States of America, and why did the powerful Republicans allow them to do it, Trump wrote. The fact is, in flying back, I thought a great deal about that question, why. The president then praised Senate Majority Leader John Thune and House Speaker Mike Johnson for doing a great job, but blasted Democrats as, quote, crazed lunatics, end of quote, suffering from, quote, Trump derangement syndrome, end of quote. They want trillions of dollars to be taken from the healthcare system and given to others who are not deserving, people who have come into our country illegally, many from prisons and mental institutions. They will hurt American citizens, and Republicans will not allow that to happen. Trump then suggested Republicans use the nuclear option following his return to the U.S. From Asia. Trump added that Republicans who now hold control of Congress and the White House should play their, quote, Trump card, end of quote, and go for the nuclear option. Get rid of the filibuster. Get rid of it now. He added that Democrats fought so hard to end the filibuster under Biden but failed. Now, he argued, Republicans should abolish the procedure to advance their own agenda and end the shutdown. If we did what we should be doing, it would immediately end this ridiculous country-destroying shutdown. He added that Democrats would do it on their first day if they regained power.
Which is the point that, because immediately it's, well, yeah, but if you do that, the Democrats will come back and then they'll use it. They're going to use it if they get a chance. Question is, can you get to 51?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Because you think of the
that is a great question.
What was it? 4 senators that voted. It was Murkowski, Collins, Rand Paul, and Mitch McConnell that voted on that. And this is the second time they've done that this year on that resolution on tariffs, right? This was specifically on Canada, but they've done that twice this year. And I'm thinking of those 4, you might throw in one more, but I'm thinking Rand Paul for sure would be a no vote because it's Rand Paul. Murkowski?
McConnell would be a no vote.
McConnell. And Collins, I don't know that you get to 51.
Yeah, you may not be able to get there. Well, you know how we'll know? If this thing,
if it
by Saturday, if it's nobody's talking about it. The talk may be on tomorrow, but if it's settled by tomorrow saying we don't have the votes for it.
Right. Yeah.
We're not going to, because they're not going to bring, if they don't have the votes, Thune's not going to bring that up for a vote.
Exactly. And I think those 4 aforementioned senators would be your block.
Yeah. You're not going to go for that if you know you're going to get defeated.
Right.
Because the last thing you need is to put something out there that you know is going to get defeated right at this point, especially when you believe you're getting win after win after win because all of the government unions, and if you look at the history of the United States with government unions, especially right now, they are what? 90% Democrat, 80%, and I mean Not maybe all the rank and file, but
Right.
the leadership is, without question.
Right.
And so it's been a slam dunk the last 48 hours with all the unions and all the representatives of TSA, pilots associations, the airlines, you name it, anybody to do with the airline industry, which will be affected first. The largest government union came out the other day. The Teamsters, came out. These are all Democrat strongholds.
Yep.
And they're all coming out and saying a clean resolution. So you may have Republicans saying, let's not do it yet.
Well, because, again, where's the bigger win if you can't hold off much longer? Well, we say that about the Democrats. Maybe they can't. Maybe they don't care.
Eric, do not make the mistake I made in 2018.
Exactly. They got to change at some point. What? 7 years later. But it's because even a clean CR gets you 3 weeks. And the question then is, if, again, right now, Democrats are losing this big time. The polls show it, and they just are. Everybody,
the one poll that came out yesterday said no. I think it was the ABC poll.
Yeah, well,
said the Republicans are being blamed.
Yeah, well,
we had this conversation,
but they only polled ABC reporters.
Well, no, we had this conversation during our pre-show meeting, and I just said, Eric, I'm looking at. I don't know which polls to believe and which polls not to believe.
Yeah, I'm Mamdani. Yeah,
right. Because of number one, of Mamdani, but in general, just the polls in general. And we went back to the Fox News saying the gap is closing. The latest polls show the gap is closing. No, it shows that it doesn't show that. Mamdani still in that poll they say is closing. He's got 47%. He's always been between 44 and 47%. Of course, it closed weeks ago when Adams came out, but there really hasn't been any type of change. If you look at the numbers and average the polling out, it's been the same all along since Adams came out.
In fact, if you look between the two latest polls at RCP, the Hill-Emerson poll and the Fox News poll being the latest, basically what Sliwa lost, Cuomo gained, but Mamdani is still anywhere between, depending, and by the way, I know two different pollsters, different methodologies. I get that. I know. But you're not seeing any movement at all for Mamdani in the last three polls. It's anywhere 48, 50, 47%. He's not losing any ground in a big way.
Well, here it is. You're looking at the last three here. I'm looking at Real Clear Politics. Fox News.
That's where I am. Yeah.
Mamdani up plus 16. The Hill-Emerson, Mamdani plus 25.
Right. Those were the two I just mentioned.
And the Marist poll, Mamdani 16.
Yep.
So for this thing where the polls are tight, no, they're not.
Yeah.
No. And so when I see that coming, from Fox, and I've seen other conservative outlets make that same thing, and you and I are saying, we know what you're doing. You're trying to make it seem like there's some momentum, but there isn't.
No.
And so that's why I look at the poll. I look at the polling now. I looked at you and said, we'll know for Spamberger and everybody else, and every other race that's out there. We'll be able to know what polls were accurate come next week.
Yeah, I mean,
because I don't know what to believe.
We look at consistency with the polls, and there isn't any. If you look at the RCP, even going back a little bit, Mamdani is consistently way ahead, comfortably way ahead across all polls. He's going to win. Good luck, New York City.
I look at the other polls this week. Mamdani up 15 for the Manhattan Institute.
Yep.
That's all the polls this week. And then there was just one where he was within 10. That was the Quinnipiac poll. 866-90 Red Eye.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. And then you have this Thune and GOP reject pushing rifle shot government funding bills during shutdown. Thune doubled down yesterday against funding one chunk at a time. So if that's the case, and Republicans are saying no, and Democrats are saying no, and the president's saying the filibuster, but they don't have the votes.
Yeah, I don't know where it goes.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you get it done over the next 3 weeks in that case. I really don't know where this goes.
Whoever crumbles, that's what's going to be publicized.
Yeah, you bet.
Top of the Hour News is brought to you by House Products. Visit houseproducts.com.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One. Now, it's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Jeez. Happy Halloween.
Yeah. Happy Halloween.
And wow. I saw that the College Fix gave credit to Trump 2.0.
Yeah.
But you think about it, not one story about any politically incorrect costumes, no stories at all.
Right.
There may be a story out there in some local newspaper, but I haven't seen anything on a national scale.
What wouldn't be politically correct these days, right? If for the far left.
You mean politically incorrect?
Right. What wouldn't be politically incorrect
right.
for the far left? What wouldn't they go after? Name a costume. You brought up earlier this week a hobo. Nope, unhoused. And how dare you?
Especially during a government shutdown.
Right. I don't know. By the way, I saw something that I thought was just weird. You know how they have the sexy devil costumes and everything else?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This was dress up for an adult, dress up like a Girl Scout. And I thought, it didn't say sexy Girl Scout. I just thought, that's just weird. What is that? I could see a girl, maybe just putting on her Girl Scout uniform. Did you ever try that? I was going to do that one time.
No.
I was going to do that one time. Go as a Boy Scout. My mom said, no.
Oh, I thought you were saying, I thought you meant
as a Girl Scout. No.
Ooh.
That I did. But I had to borrow my sister's Girl Scout uniform, but it worked.
No, I never. You mean just put on your Boy Scout uniform?
Well, that's as lazy because that's as lazy as it gets. Well, that's lazier than hobo.
I didn't think about that, but I should have. But my concern was, and I don't even remember. The only thing I remember dressing up as, and my father helped me make the costume. And it's funny because it was on the other day on one of the over-the-air channels, The Day the Earth Stood Still, the original black and white one with Gort.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember I went as Gort one year. I loved that movie until I got a little bit older and realized the authoritarian aliens who were trying to direct to the world without a representative government how they must live their lives.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
But as a kid, I was very impressed with Gort.
Yeah.
And so I made a Gort costume. Other than that, I was always trying just to do the minimum to get candy.
Well, my thinking on doing the minimum wasn't just laziness, it was efficiency, because I thought to myself, if my costume isn't good, are they going to refuse to give me candy? The answer is no. They're going to give me candy either way. I could have showed up in a T-shirt and blue jeans. What are you? I'm a kid. Trick or treat. And they would have dropped candy in my bag.
All right, you got me thinking there just for a moment as to what the left would not object to. And I just remembered a picture came in mind the last time that I actually did Halloween because of it fell on a Friday or Saturday. Other than that, I got to keep the lights off, and people they don't. If you keep the lights off, they don't bother you in my neighborhood. I've never had one. Well, actually, I put a cover over the doorbell, but nobody has ever. I've never heard anybody. But it would be during the week.
Yeah, it's kind of a rule.
But,
if the porch
right.
light's not on, if the lights aren't on, you don't approach that.
No eggs, no magic markers on the garage, nothing like that. Everybody, there was no tricks involved.
Yeah.
But last time in 2020, a kid came as a slice of pizza.
All right. Yeah.
So you were asking me because I was actually you had my brain going. What?
Oh no, that's an easy one.
What wouldn't the left? Oh. It is offensive?
Yes.
Oh, what did I miss?
It makes you fat, and that leads to fat shaming, which both are wrong. See? I mean, it's too easy.
And pepperoni is, there was pepperoni on it, so.
Yeah.
Meat.
Right.
Climate change.
Right. And I'd say this. Are you, because this is what it would be. If the child isn't of Italian descent, it's also wrong.
Cultural appropriation.
It's full on with. Remember the whole. I saw this the other day, where there were people on the left that were screaming, saying, "No, you white people need to quit going to this restaurant." I forget if it was an Asian food restaurant or a Mexican food restaurant. You need to quit going. This is intended for the people of this area, this neighborhood, this community. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is how bad it's got. And I'm thinking if you're the restaurant owner, it's like, we want anybody who's hungry.
Would you please shut up? So it wasn't the restaurant owners.
No. It was people, the left. That probably white people
telling white
people need to quit going to that restaurant. So if you're wearing the pizza outfit, we're going to have to check your family's background here. We need to know your ethnic background.
Well, now I'm going to pay attention tonight. I'm going to have a notebook to bring in for Sunday night show.
Well, I saw a kid a couple of years ago went as an incandescent light bulb. I thought, oh, no. You planet killer? Are you kidding me? No. Go home and change into an LED bulb. And there's probably something wrong with that, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. No, it's everywhere. It's all of it.
Remember, we were in the old studio, and I was in my local Target, and I had to get it because, remember, we kept in the studio for ages.
Mm-hmm.
It was an Obama mask.
Oh, yeah.
An Obama mask, and then
right.
I believe, was there a W mask, too, that we had?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think there was a McCain mask.
No.
But there was an Obama mask.
No, I mean,
and we were asking, and we were talking about it on the air saying how, and I had to buy it to bring it in to show you it.
Right.
And it was like, well, is this blackface? And Target never got, there was never a blowback on that at all.
Right. Yeah, if some white liberal wants their kid to go as President Obama, is that okay? No, this is where we've gotten to. I would say, in fact, trick-or-treating itself. The left would have, I'm sure they've already vocalized their issue with this. You're making fun of panhandling, and for some people, the unhoused. Panhandling is the only way that they eat and survive. How dare you go door to door begging? I mean, there's.
I just went into Google Halloween costumes. There's really not much at all. It's like
No.
nobody's bothering with it anymore.
No. They've.
Okay, New York Post. I figure said it. The New York. Like, where can I go to find it? Let me go to the New York Post.
The tots who are out begging for candy.
Rip from the headlines, 12 viral 2025 news Halloween costume ideas straight from the Post.
Okay. All right.
This is their idea.
Oh, that it's got to be great then.
Their ideas.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's got to be fun.
Okay, let me just see here. A team of writers and editors of the Post play dress up to prove you can creatively turn one of the biggest newsy moments into one Halloween ensemble.
Mm-hmm. Mamdani's got to be on the list.
Oh,
right?
it actually, it's a great one. You got to see the picture. It's two guys. Got to be two guys on the staff. One guy basically he's got a Trump mask on with the hair.
Yeah.
And he's got his hands out and he's choking a guy. Now, there's no mask on the other guy, but he's supposed to be Elon Musk. He has a Doge hat on, and they're both choking each other.
The feud.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, my gosh, that was great.
That's funny.
Wow. And they talk about some doll that I don't know anything about.
Right.
I don't even understand. Oh, somebody is Katy Perry. Oh, on the infamous Blue Origin trip to space.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
It looks like her hair is being blown back and everything else.
All right.
Um,
I don't think they keep the windows open.
See, this is boring.
Yeah.
Parker Posey in the White Lotus movie.
All right. Okay.
Can you go? Somebody dressed up, one of the New York Post reporters, as Kristi Noem, police, ice, bulletproof vest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Handcuffs.
Yeah.
This is the New York Post now.
Right.
This,
yeah.
just so people understand.
Right.
Like, whoa. One is just Melania Trump in this huge hat. I mean, the hat's just huge. But
Yeah.
Just a New York Post reporter, but not really. I the one I like the best actually is
the feud.
The two guys together. It reminds me. I can still remember this has to be in the late 70s, early 80s, and going to some Halloween party. And I wasn't even. I think from the time that I was probably 14 on, I never dressed up except once in '89 when we had a radio station Halloween party. But I remember going to a bar one time and two guys were dressed as Ponch and John from Chips. And they were like 70. And they were just, the uniforms were perfect. Yeah. And they just looked, it was hilarious. It really was. But I like the Musk thing the best. So,
yeah.
Everything else is just Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. Boring. Everything else is boring. Yeah, nothing else is.
You know, and in recent years.
And the Pope dressed up as a Chicago White Sox fan.
Yeah.
With a White Sox hat and a bat.
And, you know, in recent years, it's become less trendy with parents. It's not necessarily a PC thing or not. It's parents basically doing things that are not scary costumes. Instead, you dress up like a superhero instead of some kind of monster or everything else. With us as kids back in the 70s, the scarier the better. You know, if you were going to really dress to impress on Halloween, that was the idea.
Up until a couple of years ago, all these people that I knew, I mean, adults, you know, in their 40s, 50s, 60s, aren't you going to come to the party? We're all dressing up.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, no.
No.
I also don't do cosplay when the new Marvel movie opens. You know why? Because I'm grown up.
It's like
go to a convention dressed as Spider-Man. That's not going to happen. Why is Spider-Man so fat? It's not going to happen.
Eric Harley at Comic-Con.
Yeah. It's not going to happen.
So really, I mean, so nothing's really out. This is boring.
Yeah.
I want political correctness back. I want the left furious at the Halloween costumes. I don't like this.
We should start a new one. Companies that are forcing people to work on Halloween.
It's
yeah.
no fun. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no. I'm
No.
I'm pausing and
We're back-
hesitating here. There's no material because political correctness has been destroyed. I don't like this.
Yeah, we're back down to pumpkins and candy. Anybody can do that.
I'm back to just enjoying Halloween
Yeah.
and celebrating with the kids.
Right. They're all the kids are going to be happy and whatnot.
That's no fun.
We don't want kids happy.
I want anger, resentment. I want the left furious. I want them fuming over this.
I want to see some tears.
Yes. Or people that are hurt. I'm hurt by your costume.
Right.
I've been triggered by your costume.
Emotionally, I just want to see some tears. Just a few.
I've been emotionally injured.
Yeah.
866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
How would one define a successful dairy farm? University of Minnesota's Jim Salfer acknowledges
it probably changes, and it probably is really variable from farm to farm. A lot of that really should be based on the farmer's goals.
whether it's family, financial, or business oriented. Yet regardless of goals, Salfer notes some common characteristics among successful dairy growers.
You can almost kind of lump them into two broad categories, kind of big picture items, business items, and then there's obviously you need to have a lot of good, successful production skills.
And he says it starts with producers having what he calls an attitude of gratitude.
They're so gracious. If I come out, they'll be thankful. They'll thank the agribusiness people that are out there as we meet, and they just go out of their way. And they're also very thankful for the customers that they have.
Passion for work, planning an organization, and skilled at caring for their cows are other traits of successful dairy growers recognized by Salfer. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90 Red Eye.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. All right, I got to play this. I'm just going to play it.
Okay.
And we were talking about Governor Hochul, and we were talking about the whole thing where she was at the Mamdani rally. By the way, it was Fox News. I know they did the, they did the town hall yesterday, and there was a bunch of people on social media. It's Mamdani Fox News, not Mamdani. And then nobody really cared about the correction. They were like coming up with different names. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But she was at the rally, and they were all screaming at her, tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich. Because the plan is not just to tax New York City. Mamdani realizes in order to get what needs to get done, he wants to tax all of New York State for what New York City wants. She said, no, that's not going to happen. She was on the Raging Moderates podcast. Listen to this. Here we go.
All right.
Tell me who this reminds you of.
We know that Mamdani does want to tax the rich more, bring it up about 2%. He can't do that on his own. You've previously said that you wouldn't be raising taxes. Have you reconsidered that stance?
No, I would say one energetic rally does not get me to change my positions, I assure you. But I do hear people's voices. I process what everybody says, but I'm also have to balance governing this state and making sure that those people who are actually the reason we have a generous, supportive budget that helps lift people up, it's their revenues that we tax. 1.5% of New Yorkers cover about a third of our budget. That's enormous. I'm concerned about outmigration of people who are the ones who are supporting our budget. I cannot make up for that with middle class tax increases. I cannot do that to the middle class and the struggling New Yorkers. So this is the balance. I mean, this is my position.
Sounds just like her predecessor, who, ironically, is running against Mamdani.
Exactly. And he had to, remember, he had to reverse it. He was against the millionaire's tax, saying, do you know how much millionaires pay of the state taxes?
Right.
So what Hochul is saying
is exactly what Cuomo believes.
The rich have paid enough.
Right. I know.
Catch Red Eye Radio live every night on the Red Eye Radio app, available in the App Store. Red Eye Radio.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. I'm going to play the audio again because I believe this is where the Civil War is going to be inside the Democratic Party.
I believe it, too, and I said something to this regard. You can play the audio, but I said something like this in our pre-show meeting. I asked the question, does the actual party want Mamdani to actually win?
Here it is. Here's Governor Hochul from New York on the raging moderates. Sort of like libertarian liberal. The Raging Moderates podcast. Here we go.
We know that Mamdani does want to tax the rich more, bring it up about 2%. He can't do that on his own. You've previously said that you wouldn't be raising taxes. Have you reconsidered that stance?
No, I would say one energetic rally does not get me to change my positions, I assure you. But I do hear people's voices. I process what everybody says, but I'm also have to balance governing this state and making sure that those people who are actually the reason we have a generous, supportive budget that helps lift people up, it's their revenues that we tax. 1.5% of New Yorkers cover about a third of our budget. That's enormous. I'm concerned about outmigration of people who are the ones who are supporting our budget. I cannot make up for that with middle class tax increases. I cannot do that to the middle class and the struggling New Yorkers. So this is the balance. I mean, this is my position.
And this is why Democrats aren't concerned about the Halloween costumes this year. There's something a lot scarier. The ultra-liberal governor of New York saying we can't tax the rich anymore because they already pay way over what they should, and if we tax them anymore, they may leave the state.
They're the reason we have what we have.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
And you have, I was reading an article, I just did a quick look up on it from New York State, that there was a NPR report that back in, let me just see, can I get it here? I'm having problems. There it is right here. The New York State budget deficit grew. This is a story from Buffalo, Toronto Public Media. Back in August, New York State's budget deficit grew by $7 billion since the start of the year, bringing the state's cumulative 3-year budget gap to $34.3 billion. So they've already got budget gaps, and she's saying we can't tax the rich anymore, and we can't tax the middle class anymore. This is one of the most liberal governors in the United States, sounding exactly like a conservative Republican.
Sounding a lot like, again, her predecessor, who, again, ironically, is running against Mamdani.
Right, exactly. Well, if people don't remember, Cuomo, when he first came into office, said, no, I don't want the millionaire's tax. Do you understand how much they pay of the budget? He crumbled.
Right.
Will she crumble?
We'll see. Well, again, who has the power? Where's the leadership in the party? And where is the party?
The entire narrative, and the reason that you and I talk about, you had mentioned it, but we actually didn't get into the discussion on it in the pre-show meeting. But the entire liberal, how do we finance all of government, comes down to the fact, and this is the far left, that we need to get rid of billionaires.
Right.
This is what Bernie Sanders is talking about. This is what, good God, Mark Kelly, who's viewed as, well, he's more of a moderate. No, he's not.
No.
He was saying, no, we don't need billionaires. We don't need billionaires. We don't need these people that have billions of dollars. You saw the proposed California 5% wealth tax they're talking about?
Yep.
Oh, my God. You want to see,
say goodbye.
You want to see people exit your state. And Hochul is giving the conservative Republican argument as the left is screaming, tax the rich, tax the rich. She's giving the argument, which is a correct argument, by the way, that we've given for years.
Yeah.
And she is making the case that the rich in New York are taxed enough. Think about that.
As a liberal.
How radical is that when the entire left of the Democratic Party that controls the Democratic Party now, and it's the far left that controls them, look at the shutdown. Shutdown would be happening without the far left, is they believe that the rich need to pay more and let's pass it on to future generations.
Yep.
And Hochul's saying, no, we can't do that. Wow.
Yeah, it's, again, the reality setting in of where the party is. Now, certainly as a governor, you look at the numbers, and Cuomo did the same. He ended up caving because the legislature said, no, we're going to do this. Remember when the billionaires were leaving New York City and Cuomo said, or leaving New York, and he said, hey, come back, I'll make you dinner.
Yeah.
Remember that whole thing? Come on. I'll cook you dinner.
Remember,
they were leaving?
Didn't Adams put billboards in Florida to come back?
Right. And those are the things, too, that you have to look at. The question, again, that I've had, where's the party? Is the Democratic Party ready to go full-on communist and embrace the Mamdani, AOC, Bernie mantra? And make that, because if they are, then the convention in 2028 is going to look really, really wild. But it would make sense because where else do you go? They're not going to roll it back.
Well, I mean, if the convention is basically going to be a Buffalo Bills rally.
Yeah.
Let's go
Bills.
Let's go Bills.
Yeah.
No. They're saying tax the rich.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if that happened. If that happened on a convention stage, and then the next day she tried to say, I thought they were saying let's go Bills. The entire world in unison would say, shut up. No, you didn't. But that's the whole thing. You know, the party is at that threshold. They have to decide if they're going to go that route, or do they do this and they say, all right, look, he's going to win, but we just kind of let it be a disaster and let it be. The problem is it's New York City. It's not like it's not going to make the news every day because conservatives are just going to be talking about it. What is it? You're not going to be able to just play it down. You're not going to be able to just, well, that's, the people of New York City have spoken. I mean, I'm sure they'll say that, but you're not going to really get away with that. Now, the question is, because if the party is going and crossing that threshold, then it is beyond that giving the leverage to Mamdani to have the influence over the legislators, which he may already have, in the state of New York to get those higher taxes done. Again, without the party crossing that threshold, he may have that anyway.
Well,
only time will tell.
But it gets us into the real world instead of the political rhetoric. And the political rhetoric is simply, we can't have a communist. We can't have a communist. You can't do everything for free. You can't do everything for free. When the actual argument is, where do you get the money from?
Right.
And the only answer that the left has is not to tax the middle class. You tax the rich.
Yes.
So her endorsement actually means nothing. It's infuriating the far left.
Right.
Because she's saying, no, I endorse him, but I will not give him any support to do anything that he wishes to do, because anything that he wishes to do needs to raise taxes on millionaires and billionaires, and we can't tax the rich anymore because we've taxed them enough and they will leave. She's giving the Republican conservative argument.
Well, and
which is, by the way, the realistic argument.
De Blasio said it the other day. You know, yeah, Mamdani's the guy, but I don't think his numbers add up. What? He's either the guy or he's not. You can't say he's the guy, but all of his ideas are deeply flawed. You know why?
The guy, look,
you know why?
I'm supporting the guy. He's completely clueless. He doesn't have a clue. The numbers don't add up. We cannot tax these people anymore, but I fully support his election.
He's wrong for New York City, and you should vote for him.
He's wrong for New York City. He's wrong for New York State. I endorse him.
That's right.
They don't connect the dots at all. I mean, nothing is connected. It's just.
I'm
like,
telling you, it's a parallel virus. It started right around the beginning of 2020. It's the same. It could be related. We don't know causation, correlation, or both. We don't know.
Well, we believe, though, that this virus originated in not Wuhan, but Sacramento.
Yeah, it clearly did. And it was leaked deliberately. And liberals funded it a lot. They're still funding it. You know, if you think about it, it seems to have only affected the liberal brain. Think about that. I mean, the left is getting more and more insane, and you have more and more waking up and peeling away from the liberal left, which is a good sign. That means herd immunity is working.
I think Hochul crumbles.
Well, because if that's the case, that means that Mamdani has the leverage with the legislators there in the state, and that's kind of how it happened with Cuomo. The legislators there just decided, no, we're going to go, and we're going to. And I think you're right. I think eventually that's what happens, because Mamdani's going to win with a pretty clear mandate. You look at the polls, there's nothing showing it's even close. And that means that there's that leverage there, and I think the party actually will jump on it. And they're going to go back to what they, did before. It's free stuff and make the billionaires pay for it.
It's all they know. There is no other game plan. There's never been any other game.
No.
What else? If that game plan isn't there, what is the other game plan?
Nothing. They
for
got
the left?
nothing.
What
That's
is
it? They got nothing. And it's a populist to a certain extent. It's a populist winner, unlike the liberal transgender movement. The liberal transgender movement hasn't really been working for them. The things that they've been on the social issues haven't been working. Abortion is kind of done. And the liberal transgender movement isn't going their way. In fact, abortion was the driver for female voters in 2024, a bigger driver than abortion.
Well, the radical transgender movement, they don't even frame it as that. They frame it as LGBTQ issues.
Exactly.
Which we have received plenty of response from people that have contacted the show saying, I'm gay. These are not LGBT. They're not. They're T issues.
Right, exactly.
They're not.
The rest of us letters aren't on board.
I get letters all the time saying, since when did the trans issue become a gay issue?
So if you go back to tax the rich, it's like, okay.
That's an easy one, right?
That's an easy one.
866-90 Red Eye.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. But yeah, when you look at where the Civil War is going to be, it's not the political rhetoric. It's how do you finance these things that they want. And for Hochul to come out and give that argument, not to sit there and just give the usual, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. We need to find new. For her to bluntly come out and say we cannot tax the rich anymore in New York State because they'll leave.
Yeah.
That's where the Civil War is right there.
Yep. That's it.
It's like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
We don't have any other path. There's no other avenue to go down.
Right.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.